Do you think that AI could truly understand and evoke emotions in art?
Talk about philosophical.
That's what podcasts are for, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one because it can create a chord progression for you, which can evoke a certain emotion. There's your emotion. But like, oh gosh, I don't know. Like when you think of what film composers do or game composers, their job is basically using music as a way to manipulate emotions. And it's just sort of like there's this bag of tricks you can go, there's like 86 different things you can do using chord progressions, using instrumentation, using melody to achieve certain or to evoke certain emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that AI could certainly learn that bag of tricks. But yeah, I don't know. This is like, who the heck knows? Is there a limit to that?
Right. Well,
I
Could
think
it create something that like John Williams could create? I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, that's
Maybe.
yeah, because I mean that bag of tricks. That's the training that composers undergo. We describe those things to each other. We express this is what This is how you evoke a feeling of dramatic suspense, or romance, or joy, or this is a sound that makes you feel at peace or fired up for action. I think that AI can understand how to take that in and then regurgitate it basically, and because, as you said earlier, Mike, it's an imitator. It understands the X means X, Y means Y. These are the things that it can take in with that information that it's given, and retain that, and find and put it back out with similar patterns. I don't think what we describe as human emotion and feeling, it's a physical experience. It's a psychological experience. It's something that has so much to do with physiological factors that computers just don't have, and that AI language models don't. They don't have the hormones and brain chemistry and psychological experiences that we do, but it can imitate it. And yeah, going back to the musical idea that someone like John Williams can come up with, that's something that comes from an unknown place. It doesn't really there's no way to kind of predict it. There's no way to make it happen when you need it to happen. And that's why the concept of talent and all of that is so prevalent. And
I think we're touching on the difference between originality and imitation. And I remember one of the when I was first starting out as a composer, and I got my first project, and I basically like scored it, and it sounded like Alan Silvestri, Back to the Future, and I was using all the kind of tricks that Alan Silvestri uses in that movie, mostly octatonic scales and all these things. And we actually recorded it with a live orchestra. I was super proud of it. And I sent it to a composer, Joel McNeely, who was somebody I was kind of working with early in the early 2000s. And he gave me really very direct advice. And he says, don't be an imitator. He thought it was very well written and everything, but he's like, this is just an imitation. Do something original. And that's probably why I never won an Academy Award. I'm not like a famous composer, because I got really good at imitating. That's what I did.
Right.
But the guys that have really succeeded, I found, had a voice that was original. And so that's the question. Can AI be purely original without just being an imitator?
Well, and I think too, it like the subject of the human quality of music and art and stuff like that comes down to even a more granular level than arrangement or chord structure or things like that, or originality, right? Like coming down to the idea of how somebody plays an instrument. Do you guys know who Rick Beato is on YouTube? He's like one of the biggest music YouTubers, but he did this video where he was analyzing John Bonham's drum tracks for When the Levee Breaks.
Oh yeah.
And what makes it so unique. And then he takes it and he quantizes it. And as soon as it's quantized, it no longer sounds like John Bonham, right? Because the thing that makes a group of people playing together human is the imperfection is
Yeah.
the imperfection that you can't fabricate. You know, it's the things that happen in a moment when you're playing together that you can't replicate, you can't plan for it. You know, things like when you're a bunch of people playing together, you have all of these different elements going on, and everyone's going to make mistakes. Like things are going to go wrong, or something's going to change, someone's going to slow down, or someone's going to speed up, and you're all listening to each other, and you have to kind of like, it's this dance that happens between people. And even as good as the technology gets, I don't think that it could ever get to the point where it's emulating that breadth of movement that happens between people playing music. You still kind of can't supplement putting 5 people in a band in a room and having them play live together. Even the process of tracking separately, right?
Yeah.
Changes the way that something sounds, and it's different than if you have people in playing live together. So I don't think that we'll ever get to that point. I don't think that I think that those are the parts of music. It's capturing lightning in a bottle, and that's the piece, that human element of it. That's the piece that moves people emotionally when they listen to music. And so, at least from my perspective. And so, like, I don't think that technology and computers will ever get there. I don't think that we'll ever be able to fully emulate the organic nature of musicians playing instruments.
I hope you're right, Chris. I mean,
I think that's,
I think that's
everyone's
everyone's
hope.
hope. I hope. Yeah.
It's what you were saying earlier, Mike, about the fun, the in the moment, the creativity, the part that we enjoy as humans. We don't want, I don't think anybody wants computers to take that part away from us. But as you were just talking, Chris, I did have it would be fun to see people put 5 laptops in a room together and create some system where they're generating and listening to each other and an AI jam band going on. I think that's I'd watch that once for the novelty.
I think actually, you know what, Mike? I think that's a good idea. Maybe we should use that web app and try and figure out a way to like daisy chain 5 of our computers together, and we can like do an AI jam,
real time.
And it's just feedback. It's just an AI feedback loop.